If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
That you see there?
Well, I mean, he was, Bruce Arians was the offensive coordinator first, but then Caldwell came in, and Caldwell was the guy at Penn State who worked with Kerry Collins. And, Kerry Collins obviously developed into one heck of a good pro quarterback until, of course, he came back to Indianapolis. And
well, it was already over by
then. But I think it'll be a great relationship for Joe Flacco. And who's the backup now in Baltimore? I don't even know.
Tyrod Taylor.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, never mind.
But look, he's a very solid NFL coach.
The hot button topic around here, obviously, is the quarterback.
Who?
Timetable from your standpoint on when there will be a resolution. Obviously, there needs to be one shortly
by March 1st.
They owe him a big check. What would happen here if Jim just held a press conference in the next couple of weeks and said, look, love the guy, he's iconic, and he, lauded him to death and then said, but we're going to move on? What would the fan base do? And is that going to happen in your mind?
I think the fans have begun the mourning process.
Okay.
I think last week was the first level of acceptance. The whole 5 levels of grief, I think we reached acceptance in this. People reached acceptance in this town. They were in denial for the longest time. Then acceptance. I think there's a little bit of anger. They're blaming the media. We ran them out of town, all that kind of nonsense. I think we're reaching the point here where people understand that, look, when you're 2-14 and you got one quarterback who may never play again, and if he does play will be diminished, and you have the #1 pick in the draft in Andrew Luck, who's clearly going to be a stud, and you owe all that money, there is just no way, shape, or form that you can justify bringing Peyton Manning back. And I think there'll be a backlash. There's no doubt. I mean, people are going to be very, very upset, and Jim Irsay is going to take a lot of grief. But I do think that people, in their heart of hearts, understand that this is what has to happen. So I would expect in the next 5 or 6 weeks we're either going to have that press conference or we're going to have a press conference where Peyton Manning retires.
Well, it's $28 million. It's not $8.2 million.
And it's 30. It would be total $35.4 million next year.
Okay.
Because then you add on the $7 million base salary.
Right.
So you're going to pay him the 28 plus 7. Plus Andrew Luck is going to get $15 million bonus plus his first-year contract, which is 5. So you're going to end up paying $58 million just for a quarterback.
Yeah,
it just doesn't.
crazy.
It can't happen.
Right.
Bob, do we know anything about the injury situation?
No, I talked to him at length, really the last couple of days, and he was very vague about it, which tells me that it's not coming along the way he wants. Because I can promise you that if he was coming along well, the first thing he would have said to me was,
"Great shape.
I'm doing well, man. I'm really close. I'm really close. I'm throwing the out. I'm throwing the 40-yard. I can throw the seam route." He didn't say any of that. He was very tentative and just said, "Look, I can't put a number on it. I can't put a grade on it. I can't put a percentage on it." So it's really up in the air, but it doesn't sound to me like he's close to where he needs to be.
Dumb question of the day: as you look back on that season at 2-14, did they? We saw the Colts come into Baltimore in December, and I thought it was about as listless and as without effort as I'd seen a team with really good players and no quarterback, obviously.
Right.
But when I looked at their roster and you rattled off the really good players in Indianapolis, I kept saying there's no way that the team can't win some games with these players.
I was shocked. I thought that they would win five, six,
yeah, right, sure.
maybe 7 games just out of habit.
Right.
You still had Reggie Wayne, you still had Robert Mathis, you still had Jeff Saturday, you still had Dwight Freeney. But it just shows you how important a quarterback is. But this is a team that had no offensive line, didn't have a running game. You didn't have anything offensively that could pick up the slack for the lack of a great quarterback. And yeah, I was shocked. That's the only reason we're in this position. If they win 6, 7 games, they're sitting there with, 8th pick in the draft maybe? And this is not a conversation. Maybe you're still talking about Peyton's health, but you're not looking at Andrew Luck, you're not looking at RG3.
You mentioned Reggie Wayne. Obviously, he is a free agent and has been a name that's been brought up a couple times in Baltimore. What does he have left at this point?
I think he's got a lot. I think Reggie Wayne would be a great pickup for anybody, whether it's Miami, Houston, Baltimore. I think those will all be great spots for Reggie. Reggie, nobody had good numbers this year because
nobody
throwing him the ball.
Right.
And not a good offensive line, so you couldn't get anything downfield. Reggie Wayne could still play. Reggie Wayne is still physically gifted, still incredibly smart, be great in any locker room. I mean, he's just one of the good guys.
What type of receiver is he? It's funny because we all see receivers that put up big numbers and we sort of all assume they're just number one, go down the field receivers. What type of receiver is he?
You know, I hate the term possession receiver because he's too fast to be a possession receiver, but he's got the hands. He's got too good of hands to be a speed receiver.
Right.
He's got the best hands of just about anybody I've ever seen. I think, you know, you play him outside. He started to play inside a little bit when you move him. I think he could still be a guy who catches 100 passes for a good passing team.
Hey, this has been, you know, and it's early, obviously. This has been a thumbs up for Indianapolis so far, huh? The Super Bowl. I mean, it's
trying to suck up now?
No.
We still think you're bad people.
Yeah, no, it's been, I think, by everybody's account, you know, the way it's organized, the proximity to the stadium.
Everything's close, and that's going to be really
no
nice for
ice
media.
like last year in Dallas.
And if there is ice, if there's a plague of locusts, we got a plan for that.
But it seems like, seriously, the people we've talked to here, there is a real sense of pride about having the game here.
Well,
maybe because it's never been here before.
It's because it's never been here, and because, you know, there's always kind of that civic inferiority complex because we're not Chicago.
We have one of those too, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure. Exactly. Yeah, you got that little Washington D.C. up there.
Right.
Is it north or south? Whatever.
It's south.
South. Okay.
Yeah, 41 miles to be exact, in case you're wondering. But we're better than that.
I'm sure you are. You better crab. No, it's a great source of civic pride here, and you know, I've lived here 11 years. I went to college here, and hey, I'm swelling up with pride just seeing how well this thing has gone so far. And we went downtown, me and my family went down Saturday. I did the zip line. You guys need to do that.
Yeah, just to do it, right? You wanted to
just
be part of it.
Don't tell them where you're from.
No, don't worry.
Or it might not work.
Yeah, we hear you.
Bob, before I let you go, I just wanted to, real quick, big picture, this whole scenario, Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. Would you be legitimately concerned that they might be making the wrong decision here?
No, this is 150% the right decision. You have a chance to get the next great quarterback. I mean, look at your options. Do you trade that #1 pick and bring in $1 million, you know, #1s? Well, the quarterback you've got left, at best, has 2 or 3 years left.
Right.
You know, and that's an iffy proposition. You don't know if he can still play. I think this is absolutely the right thing to do with no questions asked.
Just tell her, say he better not wear number 19.
The new guy will wear number 12.
Okay.
All right, we'll excuse that.
All right,
Bob
we feel
Kravitz,
better.
Indianapolis Star. Thanks so much.
All right.
Enjoy.
Tell your paper not to do this up anymore.
All right, I'll do that.
It's been good.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.